It was a tough loss today, but what did you think your team proved today?
I don't know that we proved anything. I think that, you either win or lose. But I thought that we had some guys that played for – we had some experienced guys that we expected to play well. We had some obviously some newcomers, whether they were transfers or young guys that played well and but not well enough to win. And that's the bottom line. So, as I told them in the locker room, our effort was great, was where it should be. I thought, athletically we've improved in all three phases, but to win games, close games like that, to come down to, some situational football, some things that we can clean up and we got to go back on Monday and fix those things. And those things are fixable. But athletically we're better. And I thought our guys gave effort. We got to be smarter in some situations and to get over the hump, because ultimately in those kind of close games, it comes down to, making plays and doing your job. And we had a couple breakdowns in that area, but that can be fixed.
Defensively, what was your overall impressions on that side of the ball?
No, I thought, in the first half we had, I thought we did a good job. We had, we only had 3 penalties in the first half, but they were 3 third down penalties, right? One questionable call, and then some others that gave them first downs to keep some drives alive. But the rotation up front, I thought, has improved, particularly in our run defense. They found they started running some more stretch zone, and took us a while to get that shut down in the second half. But overall we're better. The one thing I would say is we didn't force a turnover today. But that's credit to USC also as well. So, I thought, we have some things that we can build off of, but certainly up front, our D-line, I thought, against the run was improved.
Hey there, Coach. What was the defensive strategy and/or thought process on USC's final drive?
Well, we were down a couple safeties. I don't know. We had some mix-ups there, just because, number one, Jackson Turner had left the game a couple times and was out. Our safeties were thin there anyway, and we had a couple DBs that were out. So the ability to play man-to-man or a little tighter coverage right there, with our our thirds or second and thirds or and some multiple deals with nickel, we were a little bit out of that. So, that was the position we were in, and obviously USC took advantage of that.
Right. And then you guys got up to I think your own 47-yard line. Grant got sacked on the next play, so the final play was from the 40. Was that just slightly out of where you'd go for a Hail Mary in that situation? Was there a particular yard line?
Yeah, you're talking about throwing it 60. We had that discussion, getting the ball up in the air 65 yards, is one thing, but also protection and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, we had that discussion on the sideline and just felt like the rugby situation was our best opportunity to try to move the ball.
Hey, Coach. In the offseason, Paul Rhodes kind of mentioned it too, and just the overall lack of depth on defense. Is this one of those games where that kind of shows up, like you kind of mentioned before?
Yeah, obviously the last couple drives that was it. But there's in a game like that was a really physical game too, and so. That might show up, but that's where we are. And, we've got to, to learn from that. And our rotations up front helped us. I thought, but we lost a couple guys in the back end. We lost Christian Young early in the game, Jackson Turner later in the game, and Lorenzo came out but went back in. So, a lot of those guys that started the game were not available in the fourth quarter.
Special teams, Lucas Havasek missed the first field goal tonight and then went 3 for 3 then on out. Can you just talk about his performance to be able to bounce back from that?
Yeah, I thought, Lucas played a lot of football, and he came back and made, particularly the last one was, how far was that for him to put 51. Us up? 51 to put us up. So, that he bounced back well. I thought the other piece was, he's a real weapon and as a kickoff guy. I think every kick tonight was a touchback, which against really talented returners like St. Brown and Tyler Vaughn, I think that's the unsung thing that he did tonight to keep those guys really to limit their kickoff return ability and big play ability by kicking the ball out of the end zone. So, yeah, he missed one, bounced back, and then I thought he kicked off well tonight. I think, the big story tonight was our freshman punter. I thought he performed well. I think, what was he here? What did he average? Tyler Loop we punted 3 times and he was at 45-3. So, that was I thought that was an area that we had a concern coming into the game tonight, and I thought he performed well as in his first game as a punter.
So Grant blamed himself for the first interception. He clutched the ball. He also took some blame for holding on to the ball too long at times. He also threw 3 touchdown passes, led you guys to a late lead. Your assessment of his overall outing tonight?
Well, I got to go back and watch it. I know that sometimes we had some max protection situations with, 3 receiver routes. The back was helping early in the game where he held it too long. I think that's it's a learning experience for him there too. They were playing a little bit of 2-man, 2 safeties over the top and playing man-to-man underneath. And I thought he, took advantage of that by, running the ball and putting it down and taking what the defense gave him. So, yeah, we talked about the first interception and the first drive. You want to start fast. That didn't help. But again, he's always going to take the blame because that's the kind of guy he is as a quarterback. But I think just looking back on it and looking at it at the time, there's always some other things that can happen in the route. So, it gave us a chance to win. And by making plays and taking off and running, they had some situations where, there was some questionable activity with some hits to him, either in the head or just around all over the place. So, he's a tough guy. I think he showed his toughness, his mental toughness by bouncing back off the first interception, and his physical toughness by putting it down and running. And just like I said, there's some things that he's always going to want to do something better, even win or lose. And he's going to be the first to be critical of himself, and then we just got to go back and look at it and what we can do better as a team, as coaches, to help him.
Hey, Coach. And I apologize if somebody asked this earlier. I got onto the link a little bit late. What was it like to play in this different of an atmosphere, even though it was at home? Obviously, there was no fans and significantly less people than normal.
Well, it's kind of interesting. We practiced a couple weeks ago with with the ambient noise. It's just different when there's not a lot of fans. I thought, because of the lack of travel by our players back home, the ability to have their family, parents or wives or kids, whatever, there, I thought that had some real significance to it, because I could see guys when we came out, even during warmups. You got to realize these guys haven't been home, and as part of COVID and travel and lack of travel, and so just to look up in the stands, and parents couldn't come by the hotel last night, or anything like that. So there's I feel bad for the Wildcat fans who can't be there, but I thought there was some energy early, energy during warmups and during the game, because of the families being there.
Hey, Coach, just wondered if you could talk about Gary Brightwell's performance tonight.
Yeah, Jason, I've been talking about Gary since we started practice, right? I don't say training camp. We didn't have one. We had fall practice. So, he had a great – he's had a great fall practice. I've said the last couple of weeks I'm excited to see him play. Coach Stewart talks to the running backs about, the extra 2 yards. And, he moved the pile when there was nothing there, and when there was something there, he hit it. And, I can say the same thing about Michael Wiley as well. Those two guys, played hard. I mean, really hard, and hung on to the ball in some pretty physical situations. So, he's a guy that leaves it all out there. Plays special teams. He and Wiley both give us a real 1-2 punch back there at running back today, and you want to get him off the field some more, but he wants to play and take advantage of opportunities. And I thought, he did that with, both those guys have the ability to catch the ball. What did Gary have? 21 for 113. Wiley only had 3 for 11, but he caught some balls too. So both those guys are doing a good job. I think, I think you see what type of ability really Gary Brightwell has, and to run the ball, and he's got top end speed, but he's also can move the pile, and we're going to need him to do that.